Hey everybody, Josh here with Local Legend Recording. Today we're going to be hacking plugins, and not in the way you think about hacking plugins. What we're going to try to do is recreate some emulations of some classic gear in plugin form with stock plugins and an EQ match. Let's take a look. Okay, so the way we're going to be doing this is we're going to be using the stock plugins in ProTools and the Fabfilter Pro Q. They have a match EQ function in that EQ. Now, if you have a different DAW, this will be the same sort of functionality and the same mentality. I believe even in Logic and in Studio One, they have their own matching EQs. So just use the same techniques and go from there. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take a vocal, and something I do with vocals all the time is use the classic Eventide H3000 plugin. The hardware version is awesome as well, but it's rather expensive. So I have the plugin, but let's see if we can recreate it. So the one thing that I usually end up using on that is the Micropitch shift. So let's bring that up. All right, so we brought up the Eventide H3000 here. We're going to go to the legacy part here and go to the Micropitch shift. Basically, it's pitching up and down on left and right, and then a little bit of delay on the right channel here. So let's give that a bus input and see how that sounds. Give it bus 1, 2 here, and now this is how it sounds.
I am coming to take it all.
Pretty classic 80s sound. Use it all the time for kind of broadening choruses, that kind of stuff. So let's try to recreate that with stock plugins. So the main thing we're going to have to do is, one, we're going to have to pitch up left and right. So let's do that. And we're going to use the pitch 2. So as we can see here with the Eventide, it kind of lays it out nicely for you. So if you go to this expert tab here, you can see that you have the delays here, and you have the pitches here, and the amount of delay is right here. So main thing first is we're going to get the left and right to be pitched the right amount. So 9% on the left and -9 on the right. So let's do that. So we'll go down to 9% on link them, and -9 on the right hand side. So let's just see how that sounds and see how close we're getting here. This is the H3000.
I am coming to take.
Have to give it an input first. There we go.
I am coming to take it all. I am coming.
So that's sounding pretty good already, but the thing is, it's there's a delay that we have to put on there. So let's put the delay on there real quick. We'll go to the stock plugin, mod delay, and the left, as we could see on the H3000, was 0%. So we don't have any delay there. So we're going to take the dry wet down on that. We're going to keep this dry wet over here to 25% to match the Eventide. And then we're going to put the milliseconds to 125 like they has on the Eventide. Let's see how that sounds.
I am coming to take it all. I am coming to take it all.
It's sounding pretty close. But there are some tonalities that I want to make sure are there that that we may not be getting with just the stock plugin. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the Fabfilter Pro Q, bring that up, and we're going to send a bus out of the H3000 to use as a key input. If you watched the last video about keys and gates, this is kind of the same mentality. We're using a side chain. So let's use bus 11 here, put it to unity gain. And what we're going to do is in the Fabfilter, we're going to add that as a key input right here. And then go down to this analyzer and hit the EQ Match move it up to the side chain and make sure everybody's playing here. And then we're going to run audio through it, and it's going to match the tonality of the plugin, of the H3000 plugin, with our stock version.
I am coming to take it all. I am coming.
The longer you let this go, the more accurate the
save your
match
soul.
becomes.
Give it to me with ease.
All right, so it's not changing too much anymore. So that's generally the EQ curve that the H3000 is giving us that we're not getting with the stock plugins. So we're gonna press match. We're gonna move up the amount of nodes we have so we have more control over the functionality of these EQs, and then we're gonna hit finish. Now let's take a listen to the stock plugins versus the H3000.
I am coming to take it all. I am coming, so save your soul.
It's pretty close. There's some differences that we can tweak. It sounds maybe a little bit wider on the, or actually more narrow on the H3000. It sounds a little more grounded to me. So we can kind of play with the wideness of the stock plugins. But basically now, what I would do is I would save these under a template setting, a ProTools template, and then you have your H3000, sort of knockoff Micropitch shift version of your own with stock plugins. You can do this with any of the presets that they have, and create your own plugins. I believe the H3000 is a $350 plugin, so save you some money, and if you're only using a few of the functions, it's great. So now let's move on to something a little bit more complex, maybe the plate reverbs from Waves. Let's check that out. All right, so we got the plates up here. Abbey Road plates is a great sounding plugin, but it's also kind of a CPU hog. So let's try to recreate it with some stock reverb. So the Abbey Road sounds like this. Very nice. We have a vocal plate setting up here. So first things first with the stock plugins is we're going to put on the lovely deverb and go to the plate setting. And again, we're basically just going to take the Abbey Road settings and try to recreate them here. So main thing is damper right here is going to be your decay. So we'll go to 2 seconds. And let's just see how far that gets us. Here's the Abbey Road.
Take it all. Take it all.
Significant level difference here, so let's just make sure we're hearing the same thing.
Take it all. Take it all. Take it all.
Getting a little bit closer there. So obviously you can hear it's like a lot thinner. It doesn't have quite the depth that the Abbey Road does, but I think we can get closer if we kind of keep tweaking here. So I'm going to put the diffusion down because I don't think we need a whole lot of that going on right now, and do a little bit of a high cut because I was hearing a lot of kind of high-end stuff on this, and let's see where that gets us.
Take it all. Take it all.
So still a lot of difference here. So we're going to use the same technique with the EQ Match. We're going to go to the Fabfilter here and try to get some of the tonality out of the Abbey Road. So we got bus 12, so we're going to use bus 12 as our key input here. Make sure that both are playing, and do the EQ Match with the side chain selected. Here we go.
Take it all. I am coming, so save your soul. Give it to
right. Some of that is probably just level difference that you're seeing there, but obviously a big low end boost and a little bit of roll off at the high. So we're going to finish that and see where that gets us.
Take it all. I am coming.
Back on the level a little bit.
So save your soul. Give it to me with ease.
So we are a lot closer now. So the only other thing I saw on the Abbey Road was that on this particular setting, there's a little bit of a drive in an analog emulation that's going on. So we can try to do maybe a little bit of saturation and drive with the lo-fi plugin from Digi. Again, your DAW is going to have different kinds of these same plugins, but the same mentality exists. So let's take a listen to some saturation and a little bit of distortion.
Take it all. I am coming. So save your soul. Take it all. Take it all. Take it all.
A little bit less distortion.
Take it all.
So there you go. Pretty close. Obviously there's still some differences. I think, the Abbey Road has a certain depth that we're not quite getting there with the Deverb, but they didn't spend years on this plugin for no reason. So, but we're getting very close with stock plugins and an EQ match. Now let's take a look at just a generic EQ that a lot of people use, the Maag EQ. All right, we've got the Maag EQ up. I'm just demoing this from UAD, but people use this airband quite a bit. So I've got a big boost on 10K, and let's see how that sounds.
Take it all.
So with the Maag, without,
I am coming.
with.
So save.
It's very nice for vocals. It's a beautiful sounding EQ. So let's take a look at what that Maag EQ is doing. By duplicating the track, we're going to take the Maag off this one, and we're going to use the Fabfilter again. So Pro Q, and we're going to send it out bus 13. So we're going to use bus 13, and we do the EQ match.
Take it all. I am coming. So save your soul. Give it to me with ease.
So obviously, as we can see here, there's a very steady and a wide Q that the Maag is giving off, which is probably why it just adds that brilliance. And if we match here and we bring up our nodes and finish, we can see kind of, this is starting here at almost 20,000 hertz. So a 10K boost at this high level is getting, it's starting almost at 20K and then rounding all the way down, into like the 2-3K range. So big broad sweep. And let's see if we can hear a difference between the two EQs.
Take it all. Take it all.
Very close. If I couldn't afford the Maag or I didn't have a UAD system, there's I think Maag has a different native system as well. But yeah, I would download the demos. I would try to create my own presets with the EQ matcher of your choice, Fabfilter. Fabfilter has other great functions, so I would just buy that one because it's really the only EQ you need. So a lot of those recreations came pretty close. There's obviously going to be differences in the plugins. They spend a lot of time on these plugins, so I don't anticipate you're going to get them perfectly right. And these plugins also come with lots of different presets that are usable and great. I own these plugins. I use them all the time. But if you're on a budget and you're looking for a way to get to that sound in a pretty effective way, I think this can work using the EQ Match. Thanks for watching this video. If you like this kind of video, please hit the subscribe button, like the video, comment, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.